just one last thing I want to ask you about leadership. So which are the qualities of leadership that you truly admire the most? And who would you call, not who, but what qualities would you look in a great leader?
See, I think the most important thing is empathy.
Empathy.
For me, that's very, very important, especially in the healthcare field.
To feel for the other person.
To feel for the other person, for your juniors, for those who are above you. Then after that, I would say, of course, skill in your chosen field. That's very important because youngsters tend to look up to you.
Right.
So you have to be good in your chosen field.
So excellence in one way or the other.
In one way, and to be well regarded amongst the peer group.
So not just कि अपने आप को लगा ठीक है.
हाँ कि आप सोचो मैं तो king हूँ and people say यार ये तो so I think being recognized as being good in one's field amongst the peer group is very important for you to be a good leader. Then to be able to hear and not just talk. Talking at times is important, but to be able to hear, to be able to see, and hence to be able to understand the others. That's equally important.
What I'm getting is that you were saying that constantly learning.
Absolutely.
By listening and observing and really...
And also listening to the problems.
Right.
Not only of the individual who maybe works in your organization, but also caring for the family. Which in humongous organizations may be very difficult, but this is something that flows from the top. Right. So not only should the CEO or the chairman or whatever be that, you should be able to inculcate those qualities down the line in your senior management and then in the other management, so that it's very, very important. And even though we don't have a very large organization, about 750 people, but I've seen that it does to an extent. Of course, each individual is different.
You can feel that the people care here.
Yeah, it does to some extent flow from the top, because you can't be rude and crude and expect people down the line to be very polite and be very empathetic and be very nice. So that and
what I'm hearing is that it's also important for a leader to walk the talk.
Absolutely.
Because unless you're doing it, they will not do it.
Absolutely. Why not? And another, I think, very important thing is loyalty. Loyalty of the leader to the led and of those he is leading to the organization, to the leader. That
loyalty is a big thing.
Is I think of the utmost importance. And then honesty.
So would you say that it's important for a great leader to be a good human being at the same time?
100%.
That's a given.
100%.
It's a given.
That's a given. That's a given. See, if you look around you, you would see that what you're saying is actually a fact, and exceptions only go to prove the rule, and exceptions may be such that it was something that was thrust on them or something that they inherited. So by and large you would find.
The thing is that by and large we see only the face of the individual and the reputation and the stuff that we know, and we look from those eyes. Yeah, he to bada successful hai. He is very rich. He is famous. And what we miss out is this person a very fine human being, and that they have worked very hard in being
Oh,
a
absolutely.
good human being, much more so than being a great professional.
I
Or
think-
equally at least
I think by and large, great professionals
tend to be
tend to be
good human beings.
good human beings. You know, this is something which is to me a truth, and ultimately you have to care. I like to say that you're going to fail. Many of you are going to fail. Don't give up, because there is a learning in every failure, and persevere. Okay, today it's much easier to even find supporters, both financial and in an advisory capacity, who would still continue supporting you through thick and thin, even when your project or whatever you dreamt is not going right. So persevere, and also do course correction. You must pivot. Don't be stuck in the thought. Don't have huge egos. You need to learn as you go along in any business, and that's true for a startup as well. Also, I've seen many a times, especially the youngsters would actually have a solution ready, and then are trying to find the problem which it's going to solve. I mean, it seems very, very, impossible, but I tell you, it's a reality. So, to all the startups, I would say, identify the problem first, look whether there is a need that you can fulfill in solving it, and then find the solution. Okay? And look for something which will actually work on a larger scale than, of course, niche problems also need to be solved, there's no doubt. And if you found something which is really going to be transformative, then please go ahead and do it. But something which will, work on a much larger scale is more likely to succeed than and failures are perfect. I mean, failures teach you. In fact, there are MBA schools around the world which don't take you unless you failed. So that is a reason why someone got chosen and someone else didn't. Because if you've learned from your failure and yet persevered, done something, pivoted, I mean, that's the new word, that's in use now.
Very good word.
And and persevere. By and large, India is doing well. Most of the youngsters are coming in middle class, upper middle class families. So खाने की चिंता तो नहीं है. घर में we also still have more or less families who stay together. So रहने की भी चिंता नहीं है. So go ahead and do what you want, and someone somewhere will. VCs are abundant, and they are looking for ideas. Think of it and just go ahead and do it. And I'm sure many will succeed. Of course, everyone cannot succeed, and so don't give up.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
That's-
Thank you.